Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. Well, as many of you probably know, on the 13th of March 2014, new riveting information has been presented with respect to the Malaysian flight that's missing, Flight 370. We had some hope yesterday that the wreckage was found based on satellite imagery that was provided by the Chinese government. Unfortunately, that turned out to be not what they had hoped it was. Now, what's interesting, and what people may or may not know, the aircrafts being technology advanced the way they are, the aircrafts test themselves continuously. Every 30 minutes, the engines send back data. The computers on the airplane send back data to the factory. And the reason that's done is because if a component is starting to malfunction, the factory can send the malfunctioning replacement components to the airport where that plane is going to land. And what they want to avoid at all costs is to have an airplane sitting on the ground for an extended period of time, because on the ground they don't make any money. So what they found, according to what was broadcast this morning on the media, they determined that the data was being sent by the engines to Boeing aircraft every 30 minutes. Now, it also continued to send that information for an additional 4.5 or 5 hours after the plane disappeared from any kind of identifying ability of the aircraft, because the transponders were shut off. What transponders do is they send the altitude of the aircraft, and they also send the identifying code of the airplane, in other words 370. So a controller would see on their screens 370 with the flight level, whatever flight level it was at. That was turned off. And the plane flew on for an additional 2,200 miles according to the data that the engine sent back to Boeing. So what that tells me is what I speculated, which is that this was pretty much an inside job. The pilots, or a pilot, must have been involved. The reason that is that the plane stayed in the air for 4.5 hours after the transponders were turned off. Apparently the plane was also flown at a very low altitude to avoid any kind of additional radar, depending on what part of the country that it flew towards. The speculation is that the plane is somewhere in Pakistan. Pakistan, as you may or may not know, is nuclear. Could this airplane have been hijacked to be a delivery system of a nuclear weapon? I don't know. I can't imagine that the people that were on that airplane are still alive. The 217 passengers. I can't imagine that they're still alive. If they were going to be held for ransom, we probably would have heard that they're being held for ransom. My understanding is that their cell phones are still ringing with their family members trying to contact their loved ones. This whole thing is insane. Completely insane. I think what we'll find is that the aircraft did in fact land in Pakistan. The people are no longer with us that were on board. And the plane will appear as a delivery system. That's what I think. God, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong on so many things. What a mess. What a complete mess. And we've got a psychopath that is destroying this country. It's just unreal. Totally unreal. I told you what I think. So what do you think?